We urge you to read this disclaimer before viewing the video or practicing the techniques depicted therein. ITC Hotels presents the Well-Being Master Series by Kaya Kalp. Responsible luxury is where world-class luxury experiences address the needs of well-being and safety through responsible practices which are in harmony with the environment and society. The Master Series, presented by Kaya Kalp, is an endeavor to promote well-being in a holistic manner, and resident masters at Kaya Kalp share some of their knowledge and expertise on a variety of subjects. Each 30-minute session includes a talk on the selected subject and simple demonstrations. In this episode, Dr. MVV Sunil Kumar presents a session on healthy lifestyle practices following Ayurveda, telling us about daily and seasonal regimens. Dr. MVV Sunil Kumar is an Ayurveda physician with a diploma in yoga and naturopathy. He is with the ITC Grand Goa Resort and Spa in Goa.
Namaste, I am Dr. Sunil Kumar, an Ayurveda doctor by profession, completed my graduation from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore. Currently working as a spa manager at the ITC Grand Goa Resort and Spa. Welcomes you to the Wellbeing Master Series, part of the Responsible Luxury Initiative by ITC Hotels. At ITC Hotels, nothing is more important than the well-being of our guest. Today, I will be speaking about healthy lifestyle through Ayurveda. Swasthya Swasthya Rakshanam, preservation of the health in a healthy person. Aturasya Vikara Prashamanam, eradication of the diseases which are curable, are the two main objectives of Ayurveda. In order to achieve the first objective, in Ayurveda we come across Dinacharya, Ratricharya and Rutucharya. Dinacharya speaks about what kind of food and the lifestyle a healthy person has to follow from sunrise to sunset. Whereas the Ratricharya speaks about what kind of food and what kind of the lifestyle which a healthy person has to follow from sunset till next day morning sunrise. And what kind of food and lifestyles that are good basing on the different seasons are mentioned in Rutucharya. Today I will be speaking about the Dinacharya. It starts with the Uttana, or waking up in the early morning. Early to bed and early to rise makes the person healthy, wealthy and wise. Ayurveda recommends to wake up in the early morning between 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., which is considered to be the Brahma Muhurta of the day. The calm, quiet and the fresh environment in the early morning is the right time for doing the meditation and to gain the knowledge by reading different books. The Vata dosha, one among the three doshas, will be more dominant during this part of the day. And the Vata dosha is responsible for all kind of the neurological reflexes and the body movements in the body. So if you wake up in the early morning, there will be complete evacuation of the bowel and bladder happens in the body. Within 30 minutes of waking up in the early morning, a healthy person should naturally feel the urge to have the bowel and bladder movement, and it is considered to be the sign of being a healthy person. Ayurveda also recommends that a healthy person should not either forcefully initiate or withhold all the 13 natural urges of the human body. It is recommended to use the water for cleaning of your body parts after your bowel and bladder movements. Then it is recommended to do Danta Davana and Jihvana Levakana. Brushing of your teeth is recommended in the early morning by using the twigs or the paste having the bitter, pungent and astringent taste. These three tastes will not only kill the bacteria but also prevents the growth of the bacteria in our mouth. In Ayurveda, we come across the usage of the Kadira, Karanja, Neem or the twigs has been mentioned for using the brushing of your teeth. You can make your own toothpaste at your home by mixing the powders of the Triphala, Trikatu and Trijata powders. Triphala is the combination of the three foods, that is Haritaki, Vipitaki and Amalaki, and Trikottu is the combination of the ginger, black pepper and the long pepper powders, and Trijata is a combination of the cardamom, and cinnamon leaf. Mix all these powders in equal proportions and mix it with a little bit of honey and make into the paste consistency, and you can use it for brushing of your teeth. Brushing of your teeth not only cleans your mouth, but also it improves the desire for having the food. It takes away the bad odor from your mouth and also take out the coating from your teeth. Jihva Nilekana. Cleansing of your tongue not only cleans your mouth, but also it stimulates the whole digestive system and it improves your digestive fire. Tongue is considered to be the mirror of your stomach. It is one among the Astavida Pariksha, 8-fold of examination of the patient. Failing to clean the tongue in the early morning is as equal to as not washing the face. Regular cleansing of your tongue will improve the taste perception, cleanliness and softness of your mouth. After the Dantadavana and Jihva Nilekana, it is mentioned to do Anjana. Application of coryllium to your eyes. Eyes are one of the most important among all the sense organs. The regular use of Anjana not only will act as a protective, but also it acts as a preventive for your eyes. The two types of Anjanas are there. One is the Rasanjana, another is the Sauviranjana. Sauviranjana is recommended to do on a daily basis, and the Rasanjana is recommended to do once in a week. You can make your own Anjana at your home. You can take a little bit of copper plate and smear it with a little bit of castor oil and expose that part of the copper plate to the flame of the candle. We can see the formation of the black colored paste that can be used as Anjana for your eyes. The regular use of Anjana will protect our eyes from ill effect caused due to the exposure to the smoke, dust and the pollution, and also the eye strain caused due to the working for long hours in front of the laptop, desktops and the mobiles. After doing the Anjana, it is recommended to do Nasyam. Instillation of the medicine either in the form of powder or the oil into your nostrils is called as a Nasyam. It is one among the Panchakarma treatments. The Pratimarsha Nasya, which is one among the different varieties of the Nasyam, has been mentioned as a part of Dinacharya, in which the dosage of the medicine is only 2 drops. The Anutailam or the Shadbindu Tailam are the commonly mentioned for doing Nasyam on a regular basis as a part of the Dinacharya. However, you can use the sesame oil and the ghee which are available in your home can also be used for doing Nasyam. The regular doing of Nasyam will strengthen the blood vessels, muscles and the joints of your head and neck. It helps to prevent the stiffness, tremors and the lockjaw of your head and neck, and it also takes away all the toxins which are accumulated in your head and neck. After doing Nasyam, it is recommended to do Kavala and Gandusha. Holding the medicated oil or decoction in your mouth to your full capacity without having any movements is called as Gandusha, and with the movements is called as the Kavala. Arimedadi Tailam, which has been commonly mentioned for doing the Kavala and Gandusha. The milk, buttermilk, sesame oil, sugarcane juice are also recommended for doing Kavala and Gandusha. The regular doing of Kavala and Gandusha will prevent the sensitivity of your teeth, formation of the dental caries, prevents the cracking of your lips, and also it improves the perception of your taste and gives the strength to your teeth. After doing the Kavala and Gandusha, it is recommended to do Dhumapana. Inhalation of the smoke coming from the cigar made up of with herbs impregnated with the ghee is called as Dhumapana. You can make your own cigar at your home. You can take a little bit of small cotton cloth of 10 centimeters into 5 centimeters in length and breadth. You can take a little bit of turmeric powder, mix it with a little bit of ghee and make it into the paste consistency. Smear that paste onto this cotton cloth, roll it, make it into the wick form and dry it, and that you can able to use for doing the Dhumapana. Coming to the procedure of doing Dhumapana, first you have to inhale the fumes through the mouth and exhale through the mouth, and then in the second stage you have to inhale through the nose and you have to exhale through the mouth. This is the procedure how you have to do the Dhumapana. Dhumapana is recommended after doing your Dantadavana, Jihva Nilekana, after doing Anjanam, after doing your Nasyam, and after having your food after waking up from your bed, and even after having the bath. These are the times where Dhumapana has been recommended as a part of the Dinacharya. Regular doing of Dhumapana will help in the upper respiratory tract conditions, especially your cough, asthma, rhinitis, and it gives good strength for your hair follicles and also for your teeth. And it's also very good for removing the halitosis, that is a bad smell from your breath. After doing your Dhumapana, it is recommended to do Abhyangam, application of the oil all over the body basing on the seasons. Abhyangam Acharet Nityam Sajjara Shrama Vataha Dushti Prasadanam Pushti Ayu Swapna Sutak Dharyakrit. Abhyangam Acharet Nityam. It is recommended to do the body massage or the application of the oil all over the body on a daily basis. Jara, it prevents the aging process in the body. Shramaha, it relieves the tiredness in our body. Vataha, it pacifies the Vata dosha which is present in our body. Dushti Prasadanam, it improves the eyesight, it improves the longevity and health, and it gives the stability to your body parts, and it is good for your skin. These are the benefits of doing Abhyangam on a regular basis. Tatra Shira Shravana Padesu Sam Visheshana Shilayat. Shira, head, Shravana, ears, Pada, foot. Means these are the three parts of your body has to be concentrated while you are doing the Abhyangam. It is mentioned in Ayurveda that how by lubricating the axle of the wheel will help in the smooth movement of the chariot. In the same way, by doing the Abhyangam on a regular basis, it helps in the proper movement of all of your joints. And in the same way, it helps to prevent the wear and tear of your joints. After Abhyangam, it is recommended to do Vyayama, the physical actions which enhances the strength of the person when performed in a required amount. The few things are there which you have to keep in your mind when you are doing exercises. The morning times are the best time for doing the exercises. Ardha Shaktena, one should do the exercise to the 50% of one's own capacity. It is good to do more frequency of exercises in the winter season and less frequency during the summer seasons. It is not advised to do the exercise immediately after having the food. The regular exercise will improve the strength of the person towards the tiredness, heat and cold. It gives the health and complexion to your body, and it nourishes the body and helps to fight the obesity. After doing the Vyayama, it is recommended to do Udvartanam, massaging the body using the herbal powder or the herbal paste. In this procedure, the movements are in the upward direction or against the hair follicle. This Udvartanam will help us to liquefy the fat, gives the compactness to your body and good for the skin. After Udvartanam, it is recommended to do Snanam. Snanam Shramaharanam Shreshtam. It is one of the factors which helps to relieve the tiredness in the body. It is considered to be the auspicious and recommended to do on a daily basis by using the hot water in the cold season and cold water in the hot season. Regular taking of your bath will take away your tiredness, your sleepiness, your burning sensation, your dust and itching from your body. It improves your appetite, it improves your ojas and virility in your body. After doing the Snana, it is recommended to have Bhojana. There is no medicine equal to diet. And Ahara is one among the Trayupastambha, three sub-pillars which are supporting your health. Ahara, Nidra and Brahmacharya. Our body is growing on the food what you are eating. The food can act as a nectar, can also act as a poison, basing upon how you take the food. If you take the food by following the proper rules and regulations, it can act as a nectar. And if you don't follow the rules and regulations, that is the Ahara Vidhi Visheshayatana, it can act as a poison also. Kala Bhojanam Arogya Karanam Shreshtam. Having the food at the regular intervals of the time is one of the best factors which promotes the health. Prayo Madhrum Ashniyat. It is recommended to start your lunch and dinner with something which is sweet in taste, followed by salty, sour, bitter, pungent and astringent. This is how you are supposed to take all the 6 tastes. It is recommended to fill your stomach with 50% of solids, 25% of the liquids and 25% should be empty. It is better to have the water along with your food or during the meals, but not before or after the meals. If you take the water at the starting of your meals, it will decrease your appetite, and if you take the water at the end of the meals, it will help you to put on your body weight, and if you take the water along with your meals, that helps in the proper digestion and absorption of your food. उद्गार शुद्धि उत्साहो वेगो सर्ग यथोचिचा लघुता शुद्ध पिपासाचा जीर्ण आहारस लक्षणम. Udgara Shuddhi, the belching which comes after your food, should not carry any of the smell of the food what you had it. Ussaha, you should be feel active and energetic after having your food. Laguta Shuddh Pipasacha, you should feel lightness in your body, and there should be a proper appetite and the thirst in the next meal's time. If you are fulfilling all these factors, then you are healthy or you had a proper food, and if you are not fulfilling any of those factors, then you had overeaten yourself or you had something which will not go well with your system. And the last and the most important factor is that you should be satisfied with the food what you are having. Irrespective of the cuisines and irrespective of the composition, a person should be satisfied at the end of the day after having your food. After ahara, in Ayurveda we come across something called as a sadruta. Sadruta, code of conduct. These are the personal and the social code of conduct which are mentioned in Ayurveda. These practices will help us to gain the mental health, and mental health is as equal as that of the physical health. There are some dharaniya vegas which a person should avoid. Lobha, greed, irsha, envy, raga, attachment, matsarya, jealousy, dvesha, hatred. And there are some 10 deeds are there which a person should avoid. Himsa, causing injury to someone else. Steya, stealing. Anyata kama, desiring something which doesn't belong to us. Parusha vachana, harsh speech. Anruta vachana, abusive speech. Asatya, speaking untruth. Abhidya, quarrel. Vyapat, jealousy. Drugviparyaya, finding fault in someone else's speech. Sambhinna alapa, speaking in such a way that causes separation among the people. These practices should be avoided by each and every person. The sadruta will improve the sattvic qualities, and thereby it improves the psychological health of the person. Samadosha samagnisha samadhatu malakriya prasanna atmindri manaha swastapidiyate. Samadosha, the person who is having all the doshas in equilibrium. Samadhatu, having a healthy tissues. Sama Agni, where all the metabolisms are having the proper balance. Malakriya, where there is a evacuation of the bowel and bladder happens properly. Prasanna Atma Indri Manaha, where all the senses are working properly and your mind and soul are happy. And these are the features of the person being healthy. By following this Dinacharya routine, along with the Rutucharya and along with the Ratricharya, one can able to attain the stage of Swasthya or the healthy. I hope you have gained some knowledge with regard to Dinacharya. We will continue with more interesting topics. Stay tuned for our upcoming Wellbeing Master Series by my colleagues. Thank you for your time. Stay safe, stay healthy. Namaste.